For this 30 days of whitetail, I want to do a little chalk talk. So I want to show you this hunt and I want to talk with you about what happened and how this played out, because right now is such an awesome time coming up here in the Midwest to call deer. Whether you're seeing a late morning cruiser or one of the first early afternoon cruisers, when these bucks are solo, the time is really getting ready to get awesome for being able to grunt at them or to be able to rattle and get them to respond. So I kind of want to play through this situation, talk with you about exactly how this went down, because there were so many points to this hunt that if you weren't a veteran hunter and kind of understood a lot of these things, it would be so easy to make a mistake and not be able to get the opportunity that you had. And this is important because for me, the better I get as a hunter only comes from more and more mistakes that I made and being able to understand the deer's demeanor and pretty much cause and effect, because they definitely rely on their senses. Smell first, for sure. Sight and sound, in my opinion, are about equal, but as soon as one gets triggered, they're gonna immediately refer to the other one. So if they see you, they're gonna instantly try to smell you, and they're gonna be trying to hear you during that process too. If they hear you, then they're gonna try to see you, and when they see you, then they're going back to the smell you. So for this hunt, this is a buck that I was in a stand and the buck was down in front of me and my wind was blowing this direction right here. And the buck was actually moving from my left to my right, but my wind was kind of hitting me on an angle from my 10 o'clock. Okay, so this buck was in a good position to call because the wind was still very favorable for me, because what you're gonna see here is as soon as I called to him, and the video picked up right here once I had started to call, and he actually locked in on me. Now he sees kind of where my location is. He heard it and he kind of came in looking, and once I found him and got my camera going, he was in this position right here, and luckily I was already stopped from my moving and I was able to stay tight to the tree, keep my back to the tree, and now I realize, okay, this buck heard me. So the next thing he's gonna try to do is he's gonna try to see my location, which once he came in, I think he had a pretty good idea of where I was. So now he's gonna refer to the wind. So as we play this through, he starts walking, he starts walking, he starts walking. Now what's important about this, I'm gonna let this play out. What's important about this right here, and you can see he's coming fast and he's coming to find my wind. So as soon as I know he's committed to coming in at this point, then what I have to do is find my only shooting lane based on me knowing he's trying to catch my wind. So I was trying to find my only shooting lane. I'm ranging that shooting lane and I'm getting my feet turned around when he's in this thickest cover, so that I'm able to draw in that one hole that I know that I have based on the fact I know he's gonna button hook me for the wind. So I range the one spot, I get myself turned around, not now when the buck's looking, but when he was behind that thickest brush, that's when I was repositioning, grabbing those ranges and getting those spots, and I was literally knowing that during none of this time could I get an arrow there, so there's no point in me facing him. I had to turn so that when I had this one tight lane, and from my angle it's a little bit different than this, I did have one good hole, but even in thick stuff like this, I was able to feed through that hole right there and make that shot. This is so important because when you're hunting with a bow, your proper form is going to be the difference of having great arrow flight, putting the arrow where you should, or not. So make sure that when you see that buck and you call to that buck, What you have to do is once he responds and you know he's coming, your brain should just be like the Terminator, just scanning and picking every little hole that you potentially think that path is going to cross, and find where you need to be ready and the exact spot that you need to be ready. You can be getting your range, but you're setting your rangefinder back in. You can be getting those feet turned every time he's stepping behind a tree. Now you're in a position to where he's coming right there where you thought, and you're able to make that shot just like this and have a successful hunt.